Hi, my name is Mark Matthews, and I'm in Dr. Burton's English class. And today I'm going to give you a film review of the movie Transformers, directed by Michael Bay. I'm going to go over the characters, the plot, and what I believe that the overlying theme throughout the whole movie was. The cast in this movie, the starring actors were Sam Witwicky was played by Shia LaBeouf, who was made famous in his childhood from the TV show Even Stevens, and Megan Fox, the another star in this movie, is plays the character Michaela, and she ends up being Sam's girlfriend, and they're together the whole movie. And Captain Lennox, who comes in later in the movie, but it plays a big role, is played by Josh Duhamel. The plot in this movie is a boy who's in high school and he doesn't really have that much, but one day he finally convinces his dad to take him to a used car lot and get him a used car. And on the lot there was a Camaro that Sam really wanted, but it was too expensive. And the car started doing weird things while they were there, and it ended up freaking out the used car salesman, and he ended up giving it to them for a cheaper price, or for a cheap price that they could afford, and Sam ended up getting the car that he wanted. And it turned out that the car was an alien car, and it was, and eventually it showed itself as to be an Autobot, and it kind of destroyed their house on accident, but the Autobots are the good people, but Sam didn't know that first, so it was surprising. And then Sam getting this car ended up making him be in the middle of a alien war between the Autobots and the Decepticons, who came over from the planet Cybertron to, and the Decepticons wanted to take over the Earth and possibly kill everyone on it, and the Autobots wanted to save the humankind. So they've basically fight for the whole movie through that. A big point in this movie that changed a lot of how it would turn out is when Sam discovers Transformers, because no one had ever thought of any type of vehicle could transform into a robot, or even knew of any type of alien existence, and that just kind of opened up everything. And then all of the Autobots came, and they came and showed themselves to him, and he talked to all of them, and he was an important part of the war against the Decepticons, because he ended up holding the Allspark, which had the power to kill Megatron, the ultimate villain Decepticon, and he was the only one that could guard it, because he was carrying on his grandpa's legacy. It was in the family for him to deal with the Autobots, because his grandfather actually died on a mission to finding the Autobots in Antarctica, but he ended up finding Megatron, which they figured out years later. So when Sam figured out that the Decepticons were attacking the Autobots, he decided to help instead of run away like a normal person would do, and he had to hide them from the government, which was trying to find them, and he had to help hide them from the Decepticons, which were also trying to find and kill them. And he eventually had the Allspark, which used to kill Megatron. He comes back eventually, spoiler alert, but he uses it to defeat him in the end of the movie. I would say that the overlying theme of this movie is never giving up, because no matter what circumstance it was, it never seemed good for the Autobots or Sam, because whether it was the bully that was bullying him at the beginning of the movie that he stood up to, or a whole army of evil robots that him and the Autobots had to stand up to, even though they had less robots and looked very weak compared to them, that they never gave up, and it turns out that even though they looked weaker, that they ended up coming out on top in the end. I would say that you should watch this movie because, well, for one, it's a very fun movie to watch. There's lots of action, and everyone likes action movies, and if you get into this series or this movie, it has a great series, and there's lots of other movies that you can watch after it that build on top of this, and it's just a great watch. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks.